Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Lee and His Sneaks, where I talk to you about the sneakers in my collection and my personal connection to each sneaker. So last week, we spoke about the Air Jordan 3 and how this was a sneaker that convinced Michael Jordan to stay with Nike. But what would have happened, right, if during that meeting, Mike was still not impressed? What would have happened if Mike said to Nike, yo, Nike, your little shoe is cute and all, but I'm Michael Jordan. I can make and sell my own basketball sneakers. Now, we all know if he said that during that meeting, that man would have not been lying. But instead, Nike would have given us this, the Nike Air Higher. But what I hold in my hand is not actually called the Nike Air Higher. It's actually called the Air Jordan 3 Tinker, named after the designer of the shoe, Tinker Hatfield. So check this out. Same silhouette, just different branding. On the Nike Air Higher, we have a swoosh on the lateral and Nike branding on the medial. On the Air Jordan 3, no swoosh, no branding. Actually, fun fact, that's my favorite thing to say. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. Fun fact, Tinker Hatfield, right before the final design was due for production of the sample to present to Michael at the meeting, he at the last minute removed the swoosh and the branding. And I forgot where I read or saw this, but a Nike exec was like, yo, Tinker, baby, what's good, brother? Like, can we put a swoosh on this thing? You know, can we let them know that this came out of Nike? And he was like, all right, relax, brother. I got you. So what he did was he put the branding and the swoosh on the heel tab. And in my personal opinion, it's just so much cleaner. And all the OG sneakerheads know about the Nike Air on the back. But, another fun fact, see, I told you. I learned this working at Nike, Nike Town, not Nike Corporate, although I did have dreams to work at corporate. Whenever Nike makes a shoe that they're going to present to a player, an athlete, as a signature model, they always have a backup plan for marketing just in case the athlete does not like the shoe. And, well, in this case, what if Mike left? Well, what can we do with this sneaker? Oh, okay, we'll call the Air Higher and we will create like a marketing campaign for this. Another example of that actually would be Chris Webber. Remember that guy? In hindsight, I'm actually surprised he had his own signature shoe with Nike because they don't just give away sneakers like that. But anyway, Chris Webber had a shoe called the Air Max CW. And then Chris Webber severed ties with Nike for some odd reason and went to Dada Supreme for some even odder reason. I guess the bag was probably bigger there. For those who don't know what bag means, that means money. But anyway, when Nike re-released the Air Max CW, they didn't call it the CW. They called it the Air Max Sensation. Had they called it the CW, they'd have to pay Chris Webber royalties. So I'm assuming when they first designed the shoe, they probably had that second name, the Sensation, just in case he didn't want it. I personally hated the Sensation. I hated the way it looked. It looked like it was like the dad shoe of basketball shoes. It looked like the dude who wore CW would like pass the ball like this or do hook shots. But anyway, whatever. So let's check out this other colorway of the Higher. Now, I love this colorway because I'm a sucker for earth tones with orange. You put orange on an earth tone, I'm intrigued. Like, put orange on like an olive green piece of clothing. I can't even speak. Like olive green and orange, to me that's tops. This color actually was made for Justin Timberlake to promote his Man of the Woods album and tour, etc. Actually has his signature on the inside of the tongue. If you look at the medial side, you see the Higher, Nike Air Higher. I'm not the biggest fan of Justin Timberlake, nothing against the brother or anything like that, but this is probably the only time I'm giving my money to anything Justin Timberlake related. We got this other colorway here. So the fun story about this colorway is this is the same color as the initial color of the Air Max 1, another sneaker designed by Tinker Hatfield. It was actually the first Air Max. Nike does this a lot. So they'll pay homage to an older shoe with a newer shoe, maybe using technology from that shoe, like improved technology, or in this case, a colorway. Tinker does that a lot with some of his sneakers, which I think is dope. Like, you gotta keep the homage, you gotta keep the heritage within the line. Now, for this shoe, I don't have any sort of like personal story, no vomit stories from elementary school or anything like that. But just me personally, I love a good behind the scenes story. You feel me? It's always fun to know like, hey, this was the first draft. We did this, we did that, we took this away, we added this person came on board, and this is how we got to the final draft. Like, I love the story of this is what it could have been, but instead it turned out to be this. Like, for example, did you know that the PlayStation was originally supposed to be the CD-ROM for the Super Nintendo? But then Nintendo at the last minute pulled out of the project and said, hey, Sony, I think we're good. We're probably gonna focus on this new thing we call Ultra 64. And in hindsight, Nintendo messed up on that one real bad. But oh well. Did you know that Mickey Rourke was offered the role of Axel Foley for Beverly Hills Cop, and he turned it down? Thank you. But instead, they then gave it to Sylvester Stallone. But Sylvester Stallone didn't like the fact that it was a comedy, and he wanted to rewrite it, and he turned it into a drama. And the studio was like, nah, we're good. You can keep your drama and go work out whatever it is you're going through. We're gonna stick with our comedy. So Sylvester Stallone took that script, and it became Cobra. Did you know that Eddie Murphy was supposed to star opposite of Roger Rabbit and Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Can you imagine how funny and crazy that movie would have been with Eddie Murphy and Roger Rabbit? Like, see, isn't a good behind the scenes? Actually, you know what? Not next week, but a couple weeks down the line, I have 3 other shoes I'm gonna talk about that has an awesome behind the scenes story. So next week, we're gonna talk about this shoe here. Everyone loves this shoe. The Air Jordan 4. I know, it's freaking beautiful. We're gonna talk about this shoe because, again, no vomit story, but instead this actually plays a darker role in my life. When I first saw this sneaker in a movie that shaped the way I look at the world. But thank you so much for coming back, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support. If I could just tell you anything, just be nice. Be kind and be loving. Be well and be safe out there, y'all. Much love. Peace.
Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.